So I'm back feeling a certain type of way. Again, not trying to go too deep on it, but just in here enjoying my peace. And I'm just thinking, oh Lord, when they come back or when he comes back, still gonna be doing stuff to like try to disrupt my peace. I really don't even like to hear the ball bounce, let alone let it bounce in my yard or anything like that. And and then try to give them their little reason or feeling of calling the police. And then I'm saying, you just never know how that shit can go awry and just bad. Like it's so damn stupid. But just thinking about that, because he just comes out here, stirs up trouble, and then he goes on back. And even when they got the cameras and stuff, when they first got the cameras, I was looking at him, just looking and feeling good about himself, feeling proud, like he did something. And it's like, wow, I don't know what's going on with him, where he's at now. As always, God knows the location, but if it's another young person that's just stopped in their tracks of just being mischievous and malicious and stuff and being a troublemaker, regardless of where they at, and I hope and pray, that comes to a cease, because it don't make no sense for you to be that trifling and that young. But anyway, and then they encourage you and want you to. And so anyway, that just got me stirred to thinking, again, when the so-called granddad, the man of the house, mentioned my daughter, that's why your daughter, and he didn't even get it all. I don't know what he was saying. And it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I mean, it really did bother me, because it's like, it's already, and it was an embarrassing situation. It was, having my child removed from my house. Of course, thank God it wasn't by the state and stuff like that, but almost basically. But having her removed, and then she never came back and returned and stuff, like having stepped not one foot in here in over a year. And so it was already bothersome, you know, happening. And then for him to bring it up, and it just made me feel like you're speaking on something, you don't even know what you're talking about, you don't know what's going on. And I almost felt the need to explain myself, like even saying she's with her dad, you know what I'm saying, as if I'm happy about that. I'm being okay or a little content with that, but I'm not happy about that, because she's still supposed to be interacting with her mom and being with me and stuff like that. Of course, both, if it was right, both parents. But anyway, and then it just got me to thinking, like, how does he even know? Besides you not seeing my daughter coming out the house, this, that, and the third, how do you know? And it makes me wonder, like, do you know something otherwise? Is my daughter putting stuff on social media? And if she is, better be telling the whole truth, honey. But when you talk about me, this is the thing. You can put it out there, and I'll come back and I'll make sure I let it be known. But I don't want the going back and forth with me and my daughter, especially for the world to see, because it's not nobody's business. It's between me, us, and God. So yeah, that just bothers me. It's like, what does he think he know, or feel like he know, or whatever? And so, just the way it all happened or whatever. Again, between me and God, I know what I did, to, have the door open or whatever. And I still didn't intend for nothing like that to happen regarding my child. That's the thing. You can pick the sin or you can pick the action, but you can't pick the consequence. And I definitely feel like I didn't have a say in them consequences or whatever. But yeah, so it just makes me wonder or think, what kind of message is she putting out there, whether it be on social media or how she's living her life and stuff like that. And I don't know nothing. I can't do nothing but trust God on her behalf, and and just me as a mother on my behalf, because that's my child. Whether she feel like she want to disassociate from me or whatever. And just that little you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say little, but just that reaching out and stuff, of course, that makes me want more with my daughter. It's like, I'm not in jail, I'm not on restriction and stuff like that, so why should I, And honestly, I still feel like her dad is the one who he's criminal minded, and he's the one that needs to definitely be the bigger person which for a long time he physically was the bigger person. Not being funny, but just being real. But yeah, he needs to be the bigger person, and you know what I'm saying? Definitely stop trying to play on my top. Stop trying to play mind games and things like that. It's so hard because you want your child's father to interact with their kids and stuff. But I ain't gonna sit here in front. I did want it more on my terms and how I needed it to be. So, you know, if that's selfish or whatever, it is what it is. But it was working. It was working and it was going, and it was even, to me, getting there from 2020 when he wanted to link up and meet and see our daughter or whatever, and he was happy and satisfied with just them few. Felt like somebody was trying to listen in, but anyway, he was happy with them few minutes, hour or so that we met at the mall. And then he went on about his business, and he knew, okay, she brought my daughter to see me. Yeah, it was a public place, because you want to cut the fool, we need witnesses. And plus, I had my sons and stuff, and I knew what it was behind closed doors. I didn't like him, he didn't like me, and it just, that's what it is. I didn't like him, and he felt like probably he had moments where he just felt like he hated me because he said it out his mouth. And so that was my thing. And that's why I be feeling like I don't need all these third and fourth and all these different parties getting in. And I guess I felt like unless it's to help me out because, you know, he's a threat and a danger. But I mean, we very well could be a threat and a danger to each other. And maybe it's just the birds and the wind or whatever rustling through here. But anyway, very well could be a threat and a danger to each other. It's definitely gotten violent and stuff like that, and it is what it is. I really didn't give a damn because I felt like it served him right. And even starting out, you know, when he went to jail, when he went to prison and was away from our daughter for over a year and a half, I felt like, well, hey, that's still, I didn't know back then, but that's God shining a light and shining favor on my life because, you know what I'm saying, we was fighting and stuff before he got locked up. So anyway, so yeah, fast forward to today, I'm just like still lifting up my daughter constantly, all the time. God, you know where her footsteps are, you know, the locations that she's at or been at. You just be in the midst, protect her, you know, even, you know, not only from the people in the environment that she's in that she maybe feels comfortable in, but some other ones that's like, you know, maybe unexpected hidden enemies and things like that, maybe at a school or maybe in places that she may frequent. And I just never thought that I would be living my life like this where my daughter was not here with me in her teenage years, not being with me, not interacting. Again, I've experienced a slight thing with this before when they decided they wanted to keep her over there. And again, it was his mom. Because I asked my daughter and she came. She was like, yeah, she told me you going with your dad. When I had said, okay, my daughter can come home. And and it was his mom, so she'll just use him whenever she wants to benefit her and to spite me. So that's what it goes back to, and that's again where I feel like I'm glad I haven't forgotten certain things because it's dangerous to forget. I have to be reminded that she will try to use her son to spite me. Then she will try to make it seem like it went in her favor, but that's what she'll use her son as a pawn or whatever. I mean, she's done that plenty of times. And so, of course, I trust and pray that God meet her exactly where she at. You know, yeah, I could pray for conviction, but I be feeling like it be to the point where, honey, you ain't, you done lost your sense of conviction. Because you done either got away with too much stuff or seemingly got away with too much stuff and ain't, you know what I'm saying, ain't had the experience consequences. I'm not saying that she haven't experienced any. I think the most she's gonna experience is something that feels embarrassing to her. And it probably shouldn't, it's not that it shouldn't been, but it should have been something she should have just chucked up and just, you know, roll with the punches. But yeah, she be trying to put on a certain look and stuff like that for people or whatever, and that's her problem. That's not my problem. I want that to stay away from me, and I really want that away from my daughter. That's why I'm just like, I just wish my daughter would wisen up. And when she hears somebody tell her, I don't want to do this, but I don't want to not see you. Yeah, that sounds like a very valid reason because you don't want to not see the child, but you're not supposed to be meddlesome like that and interfere and partake in being messy. So that's why I'm like, huh? And and then my daughter sat there and listened to it and heard her. And honey, you didn't hop out the car again and say, no, this ain't right. I need to go home to my mom and let things pan out in the proper way. But, that's why I say my daughter, to me, seemingly took part in being messy as well. And I don't, what I'm saying? I don't like that. I got my own mess. I be messy enough, not even messy towards people, but my own stuff in my life that I need to clean up. So you think I'm gonna be sitting here dealing with you being having messy ways? Mm-mm. So I just didn't appreciate it, and so that's why I left well enough alone. But that still ain't gonna change my heart, my feelings towards my daughter, my child that I carried, um, and have been protecting and have been standing up for, speaking up for, and stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: I will shut my mouth when I see that person has a mind of their own, and they can be influenced for negative or positive, and they choose negative. I'm not going to stand up and speak up for you and be protective of you when that happens. So that's my deal or whatever. But all that just tried to rub me the wrong way, just him saying anything. And it's like, what are you even speaking on my life at all for? You just a so-called neighbor, and you're not even that. You're not even good at that. So move along. That stuff just be making me want to smack the taste out of people's mouth. Like, what? And be wanting to show them, like, baby, let me tell you something. I'll take this bright fist right here and I will bust you in your mouth. Because you don't even, what I'm saying? You're speaking on something you don't have no. But that's why I don't even give nobody the room to get up close to person and speak certain stuff to me and they don't know what they're talking about. It is one thing when you are wise and you are hearing from God and even you have some information about a situation and you are with wisdom, you're listening to me, you're hearing my side, and you're, what I'm saying, and you don't have to be biased towards me or whatever, but you need to have some wisdom and you need to be hearing from God, because other than that, it really does not matter what you say to me. It doesn't matter. But the fact that my ears heard it, it tries to make my ears ring and make me get angry and just try to straight fuck you up. Like, that's just I don't like using that F word and all that, but it is what it is. That's how I was feeling. And then they try to make the commotion and be surrounded by this little boy. And I gotta say biracial boy or whatever. It just is what it is. That's how I feel. Like, what? He doesn't matter to me. He doesn't matter to me at all. So, and then y'all want to make a big deal and even mention, I don't give a damn about his name. His name don't hold no type of weight. Did he shed blood, die for my sins? No, his name don't hold no type of weight. So I left it there, and a long time ago, I wish I'd have known. I should have just left them kids where they was at and not, not even allowed them in my space. A lot of people that I shouldn't have allowed in my space, because now I just feel regretful. Like, I should have never. And I just feel like that's some kind of stupidity or stupor or whatever over my life, to where I didn't know. I didn't know not to let these people in, not to interact with them. How dare I? How dare I think that neighbors and stuff would, at least try to get along and stuff like that. I was definitely fooled, deceived, and whatever. But, I guess it goes back to my childhood when I had so many bad neighbors. But I also had some decent ones that would allow us in their house, their space, and stuff like that. And we had, I had pleasant experiences. So I guess that's why. And I was still trying to balance it out. So yeah, but anyway, I'm definitely thinking of my daughter on this stuff. What's today? I don't know what we may have been doing on this day a couple years ago. But anyway, I'm thinking about my child. I love her. I don't necessarily feel like I'm dying, but I do sometimes think that, hey, without my child, I'm dying. Like I said, I don't necessarily feel like I'm dying, I think my feelings want to make me believe that, but it's still, that's, to me, she is part of me. So it is like, something taking place, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, and I'm not the type of mother that rather it be my kids rather than me. But when I have two other kids, it's like, I mean, I would definitely, if it was necessary, leave this place if it was regarding my kids. But it's when you got more than one child and you're not just dedicating your life to stewarding just one child. It's all of them. So it's like that would be selfish. For one, it's not me anyway who wants to leave this place because other people don't like me. But it would be selfish because I have two other children that rely on me and depend on me and love me and stuff like that. And it's not fair to them. So it's like, man, definitely at a catch. That's where I go back to being like, oh, I just wish I would have had all my kids with that one man. But even still, now that I see this, don't mean that I wouldn't have came across some hardships. But I do feel like it would have been easier if I would have had them with just one man instead of two. Wouldn't have to deal with two. That's, just crappy. Anyway, hopefully there's a silver lining for me. The sun is shining. Get some kind of, I could say breakthrough, but just something. But I don't want to mess up a good day. Like I said, I'm feeling good within myself. It's just those thoughts trying to come up and make me want to get bitter and stuff like that. But no, and even in this moment, I still choose to forgive. Even I'll choose to forgive. What he said regarding my daughter. I have to continue to purpose to forgive. Like speaking my daughter off your tongue anyway. We don't like you. I don't care about you at all. Um, Forgive the insults and stuff that him and his so-called wife called my sons and just called me. I've been called a black dog, bitch, and this, that, and third. And again, this man is darker than me, so I don't know if he was just referring to skin tone or just my race or whatever. My apparent, what it appears my race is. And you're saying you're black as well, so it was just retarded. Like, it was remedial. Like, to even call somebody that when you are the same skin color and you're pushing 70 years old, so you are stuck on stupid. And I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry neither. I'm not sorry that I'm not sorry. So, excuse me, let me correct myself. Because, yeah. So, hopefully, again, this device is picking up my voice because this device tends to act crazy. But that's what I'm feeling like. That's what I'm thinking about today. And just right now in this moment, I just pray that God just touch my daughter, move on her mind, her will, and her emotions. Be in the midst, lead and guide her, order her steps, help her to be obedient, help her to make the tough decisions that have to be made at times. Not just the easy things, not the things where you give into weakness, the flesh, or deception. Definitely make those decisions towards, trusting God. Mm, 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 mm. Thank you, Lord. I just say, thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I don't see, I don't see, I don't see, I see God, you that I'm high for several, she and she get her, she and she, I shall not see, just thinking this backyard that I'm in, my daughter used to run around in here, play out here, and again, I moved to this place that I wanted her. It was just me and her at first, wasn't it? The boys wasn't here, and I wanted her to have a yard to be able to play in. I didn't want to live in an apartment complex where people would be just cramping us, and I just wanted to have privacy. But if I had it my way, I would be somewhere. And I don't necessarily have to be in a country, but I need like an acre or two of land so I could just have somebody at a distance. You can be at that distance or whatever, but that's all, you know what I'm saying? And I just wanted that I thought was peaceful. purposes and reasons, and not selfish. I was being protective of my daughter, didn't want bullies to be able to get close and things like that. And definitely wanted to be successful. So I felt successful when I first moved over here because I was young. I was like 13 years younger than I am now. So that was my reasoning or whatever. And I ran into, of course, the boys' dad when I got over here. Well, I definitely allowed him in my space. He invited himself, but I allowed him in my space and I opened it to him and stuff like that. And he came along and he did know my daughter when she was young. So, that's what really bothers me. It don't really hurt me because I just feel like he's just a big ball of damn trifling most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. He wants to say, let him tell her he say half and half, but honey, if I had to measure, it's a good 75-25. 75, he's a ball of damn trifling. 25, you can catch him on a day where he's not. And so you just have to, you got to really truly know, and the only person that truly know when he's not being trifling is God, that exact moment, or when he's not going to be, what day he's not going to be. So anyway, he, he was around my daughter and stuff, and I definitely wouldn't have just allowed anybody to just, I didn't mean to anyway, to allow just anybody to ease in there and not mean well for me and my daughter at all. I really didn't. So that's why I messed up. And I have to say that because he's the one that pretty much tried to shift and get me in a position to where my daughter is not here. So I'm just going to keep on mentioning it as much as I need to. Who didn't make everything happen. And although he probably believes that he made the whole thing occur, and I really feel like that's the enemy wanting to continue to deceive him further, but he did place that phone call that, because my daughter was still at home, and, it was told to me my daughter was still at home, and then her dad came and got her and stuff after he made the phone call that somebody needed to do a health check. You don't want to call the police for nothing else, but just because I'm not at home, because you know that I'm in a jail cell, and you want to do a wealth and almost make it appear like you're doing the right thing, but you know that you think that you own me, you try to manipulate me, and you know that you're dealing with some female that be jealous and be wanting to be me at certain times, and you made her feel that way by even speaking about me, speaking my name. And it's one thing to get to know you, but it's another, and you can't control her feelings, but he's controlling, and he's manipulative. So, and males have a way of doing that with females. I don't care how hard the female is, and she probably got some tricks up her sleeve, plenty, but I don't care how much it is. You can't really out manipulate and outwit a male. You can be as trifling as you want to be. You can try to measure up to his ball of trifling, but you can't outwit him. Now, you can be a woman of God, and you can definitely be wiser than that man and operate in more wisdom if he chooses not to, if he wants to operate in the ways of the world and be carnal minded. But as a woman, I just don't think, and it's not that we're dumber than men, it's just, I think it was just meant to be. They got something about them that where they don't have to, even if how they say their emotional measurements are less than women, and that might not even be completely true, but in a lot of cases they show less emotion and stuff like that, and they operate in less emotions than women, and that's for a reason. God designed, that's by design. So honey, this is the thing, when you playing with him, or you play games with him, or you have other motives, he's gonna see that. Now, whether he chooses to acknowledge it and not ignore it or whatever, is up to him, and do something about it. And so I just think maybe it's a case where he was like, I don't care, I'm in a, you know what I'm saying, I'm in a space, because I felt like that. Could I have a Snicker? Yes. Don't need it, but yeah, but he's in a space where he's like, I don't give a damn what she did to me, what kind of trifling stuff, I'm still gonna stick beside her. And because I've been there, that's what I was. Similar, sort of, kind of. I had to draw a line somewhere. You wasn't finna just do any damn thing. That's the reason why he had to close my door at times. Cause like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. But anyway, if you are a person that loves yourself, care about yourself, you ain't gonna just let anybody just do what in the hell they want to do to you. And again, I don't know what they got going on or whatever. I don't know if she just did anything. I just know what stood out, and it was that she was a deceiver. And I was just like, oh Lord, here they go. And I was just like, oh shoot. Okay, she came out and must have did threw something in the trash. It's almost like a ritual too with that. Threw something in the trash, then went back in the house. I was getting quiet, but it stood out. She was a deceiver, and I was just like, that's two people that's deceiving and lying to each other. That's not going, what I'm saying? That's not going to end well. It's not. It doesn't end well when one person is in a relationship lying and deceiving.